everyone, our lesson for today is ATP ADP Cycle. ATP stands for adenosine triphosphate and ADP stands for adenosine diphosphate. What you're looking at right now is a TEM micrograph of a mitochondrion. A mitochondrion is also known as the powerhouse of the cell. It produces the energy necessary for the cell's survival and functioning. Through a series of chemical reactions, a mitochondrion breaks down glucose into an energy molecule known as ATP or adenosine triphosphate, which is used to fuel various other cellular processes. Hidilyn Diaz, a Filipina weightlifter, clinched a silver medal in the 2016 Rio de Janeiro Olympics. Did you know that weightlifters needs an incredible amount of energy? Therefore, weightlifters needs an efficient energy system. What is an energy system? An energy system is a physiological process that describes how the body transforms the energy from food into a form your cells can use to power various functions. ATP or adenosine triphosphate is very important to all living cells. Did you know that energy is temporarily packaged within a remarkable chemical compound called ATP or adenosine triphosphate? It holds readily available energy for very short periods of time. So you may think of ATP as the energy currency of the cell. When you work to earn money, you might say that your energy is symbolically stored in the money you earn. The energy of the cell requires for immediate use is temporarily stored in ATP, which is like cash. When you earn extra money, you may deposit some in the bank. Similarly, a cell may deposit energy in the chemical bonds of lipids, starch, or glycogen. Moreover, just as you dare not make less money than you spend, the cell must avoid energy bankruptcy, which would mean its death. Finally, just as you probably do not keep money you earn very long, sometimes the cell continuously spends its ATP, which must be replaced immediately. This is the structure of an ATP. ATP is a nucleotide containing of three main parts: adenine, a nitrogen-containing organic base; ribose, a 5-carbon sugar; and 3 phosphate groups, known as monophosphate, diphosphate, and triphosphate. Note that the phosphate groups are bonded to the end of the molecule in a series rather like 3 cars behind a locomotive. Unlike the 3 cars of a train, they can be attached and detached. Now this is the ATP ADP cycle. So what actually happens in the cycle is that if a cell needs to spend energy to accomplish tasks, the ATP molecule splits one of its 3 phosphates, becoming ADP or adenosine diphosphate. The energy holding that phosphate molecule is now released and available to do work for the cell. When the cell has extra energy gained from breaking down food that has been consumed, it stores that energy by reattaching a free phosphate molecule to ADP, turning it back into ATP. The ATP molecule is just like a rechargeable battery. When it's fully charged, it's ATP. When it's run down, it's ADP. However, the battery doesn't get thrown away when it's run down. It just gets charged up again. So as you can see here, when a phosphate group is released, that means energy is also released. When a phosphate group is attached, that means energy is absorbed. This is the ATP ADP cycle. Now, the ATP is actually harvested through a biological process called cellular respiration. Now, in the process of photosynthesis, plants actually captures energy from the sun, and it actually builds carbohydrates, consequently glucose. And glucose is also one of the key major players for cellular respiration. which produces ATP or adenosine triphosphate. So ATP and your food intake. So you have to remember that one simple sugar or glucose is composed of 36 molecules of ATP, and one triglyceride is equivalent to 146 molecules of ATP. So as you can see here in the picture, when you eat your food, it will be separated to proteins, complex carbohydrates, and triglycerides. Now, the majority of complex carbohydrates will go to energy production, and if there are excess, it will be stored as glycogen in liver and skeletal muscle. That would be all for ATP ADP cycle. Hope you've learned something. Thank you.